Your evening on Spectrum News 1 begins with Ohio winds starting the week off with high winds and low temperatures after ending the weekend in the 60s. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Imani Payne. Our meteorologists say some Ohio winds saw wind gusts of up to 50 miles per hour, parts of the state even losing power. And we've got some video from downtown Dayton, and you can see the flags blowing there, just how windy those conditions were there in Dayton. And we've got another video from our tower cam in Columbus, where we can see more windy conditions. And if you stepped outside in Columbus today, you certainly felt it. You can see our camera shaking there. A windy start to the week indeed. Now, those high winds also causing flight delays as travelers make their way home after the holiday weekend. John Glenn International Airport seeing several changes to their flight schedule throughout the afternoon. Now, these powerful winds leading to a unique weather event in Northeast Ohio, a Seiche hitting Lake Erie on Monday. Now, this is a look from Put-in-Bay's live web cameras. You can see some snow coming down, and we'll get a closer look at the dry spots on the ground there that are normally covered by water. Now, if you're not familiar with what a Seiche is, then you're not alone. Meteorologist Tyler Seabree is joining me now to tell us all about it. Hey, Tyler.
Yeah, hey, they are very real. It is a meteorological.
All right, some good information there, Tyler. Thank you so much. And we've got some video here from that flooding in Buffalo that Tyler just mentioned. Now, this is from our Spectrum News crews in New York at the Niagara River, so you can just see some of that water overflowing there in New York. New York Governor Kathy Hochul actually extending that state of emergency today due to those weather conditions. So if you are out there in New York, stay safe. Now, winter can bring snow, ice, blizzards, freezing rain, and flooding. So here are some tips to help you prepare for those winter hazards. Make sure to have an emergency kit and a plan, including all members of your household, including pets. Know where to get reliable emergency communications, alerts, and notifications. Locate your nearby winter warming shelter in case you lose power, and avoid travel in rough winter conditions if you can. And our winter weather coverage doesn't stop there. We want you to have any and all weather alerts well before you head out of the door. So follow along on our Spectrum News app or SpectrumNews1.com for your local weather forecast. Now, doctors across Ohio are seeing a worse than average flu season. According to the Ohio Department of Health, flu hospitalizations almost doubled this past week compared to the week before. And with New Year's celebrations on the way, doctors say flu season may get worse. Our Krista Lucas joins us to share how to deal with this epidemic.
I spoke with a couple of...
Krista, thank you. Hoping to take another step towards peace, President Donald Trump and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu discussing the next phase of a potential ceasefire in the Israel-Hamas war. Our Washington bureau has the details of the conversation next. The most pressing issue for two world leaders is the peace deal between Israel and Hamas, brokered by the U.S. Phase 1, which included a ceasefire and the return of hostages, kicked into effect in October. But now President Donald Trump is pushing to move forward with Phase 2, which addresses the long-term future of Gaza. Evan Kozlov has more.
The most pressing issue for the two world leaders is Kozlov, Spectrum News.
President Donald Trump confirming reports of a U.S. strike on a facility in Venezuela. He spoke Monday of a major explosion in a dock area where he says boats are loaded up with drugs. When asked whether the strike was carried out by the military or another group like the CIA, the president would not say. President Trump also says he spoke to Venezuela's president recently.
Let's just get deported and face death.
There's no illegals here, illegal aliens. There is. They're in my jail.
Reflecting on immigration reform in 2025. After the break, we look back on Ohio immigrants facing life-changing experiences and where things stand now. As we near the end of the year, we're looking back at some of the stories that shaped our lives in 2025. Changing immigration policies is certainly one of them. Increasing crackdowns by ICE agents sparking protests, creating uncertainty and fear in some Ohio communities. Spectrum News 1's Sheena Elzy recaps a year of immigration enforcement that's still unfolding.
A phone call from a jail cell.
The Buckeyes landing in Texas ahead of their CFP matchup with Miami, and they're not alone. Jack Burney is also in the Lone Star State as the team prepares to defend their national title. Hey, Jack.
The Buckeyes currently taking part in their first of 2 practices here in Dallas. We'll show you some sights and sounds and hear from the Buckeyes on Media Day right after the break.
I'm Imani Payne, and here's your Spectrum News in 90. Columbus City leaders taking a moment today to reflect on their work of keeping the city safe. Police say there have been 81 homicides in the city so far this year. They say it's the least amount of violent crime since 2007. But Mayor Andrew Ginther says 1 homicide is still too many and that the work to make the city safer continues.
We cannot rest on our laurels. We cannot. This is not victory. This is a recognition of success, of progress, but we want to double down and really build into our muscle memory this incredible work we've been doing to make Columbus safer and healthier for 2026 and beyond.
The city is on track to reach its goal of having fewer than 100 homicides in 2025 as part of Operation Under Triple Digits. A Pike County mom is filing a wrongful death suit against Centrus Energy. The suit alleges radiation from the nearby nuclear power plant, now managed by Centrus, is responsible for the death of her 16-year-old daughter, Cheyenne Dunham, in 2015. The unseasonably warm weather Sunday ties a 40-year record for the warmest day on December 28th. In Columbus, the 68-degree day matched the temperature in 1984, according to the National Weather Service. And that's your Spectrum News in 90.
I'm meteorologist Tyler Seabree.
The Ohio State Buckeyes are in Dallas ahead of their heavily anticipated playoff quarterfinal matchup from the Cotton Bowl. Also in Dallas this evening are Jack Burney. So Jack, what's the mood around this Buckeye team as they take the practice field?
Yeah, Imani, I described the mood of the Buckeyes as motivated but confident. We got a little bit of a glimpse of practice earlier. The team seemed loose, and Sauer will hear from some more Buckeye stars about what challenges this Miami team presents to them. Imani?
Now, Miami is, of course, battle-tested, having already won a closely contested playoff game. Our Jack Burney in Dallas for us this evening. Jack, thank you so much. The state of Ohio has a pretty good record this bowl season, sitting at 2-1. Toledo and Ohio University picked up wins to cap off their seasons. Miami University fell in the Arizona Bowl. Of course, Ohio State will be playing in the Cotton Bowl on New Year's Day, but there's one other Ohio team you'll want to keep an eye on. The Cincinnati Bearcats are in action this Friday against Navy in the Liberty Bowl. All year long, Ohio lawmakers have been trying to get property tax relief to homeowners. They've increased by as much as 40% in some parts of the state as home values continue to climb. Political anchor Curtis Jackson sat down with Governor Mike DeWine to talk about the issue. He takes a look at the relief coming in 2026.
A recent Emerson College survey of Ohio voters finds the race.
It's been nearly 3 years since the toxic train derailment in East Palestine. Now the federal government is funding a study of whether the chemical spill is impacting the health of nearby residents. Our correspondent Harry Lee reports.
The Norfolk Southern train that derailed. In Washington, Harry Lee, Spectrum News.
As Harry mentioned, no new laws related to rail safety have passed since the derailment, but some talks have taken place on Capitol Hill. The Rail Safety Act, first proposed in 2023 and amended this year, would make some major changes to current safety regulations. It would require certain freight trains to operate with a minimum 2-person crew and would tighten rules for trains carrying hazmat materials. First responders in Mexico say at least 13 people are dead and dozens more hurt in a train derailment. According to Mexican officials, the interoceanic train went off the rail Sunday as it entered a curve. 241 passengers and 9 crew members were on the train when the accident happened. Crews are still working to determine the cause of that derailment. A new search soon underway for a jetliner that vanished over the ocean in 2014. Malaysia Airlines Flight 370 departed on March 8th of that year, bound for Beijing. Starting tomorrow, a group headed up by an American marine robotics company will once again search the depths. Ocean Infinity will resume the seabed hunt over the course of 55 days in hopes of adding some closure for families of the 239 passengers and crew. Well, preparations are underway in Times Square, but the ball drop isn't the only thing being rehearsed. Still to come, the attention to detail that goes into everything you see on TV. Recapping one of our top stories now, respiratory illness is on the rise across the state as more people gather for the holidays. According to the latest numbers released by the state's health department, flu hospitalizations are up close to 120%.
Usually these tend to be in elder adults. We can see patients get hospitalized from nursing homes, or with severe cases of the flu. You know, the holiday season now, we are seeing an increase every week in the number of flu cases we're seeing.
The Ohio Department of Health recommends getting vaccinated against these respiratory illnesses if you aren't already. All month long, we've been sharing holiday lights shared by you at home. Now, this submission comes to us from Hillsboro's Stephen Bachman. Plenty of colorful string lights welcome you up to the porch. Plenty of lights are also reflected on the side of the home. And in the one open window, a large and bright Christmas tree is on display. Great to see that there. So we want to thank everyone who submitted your lights this holiday season. It will come as no surprise to hear the New Year's Eve ball drop in Times Square is rehearsed, but another star of the show is also carefully practiced. Alyssa Pawacelli from our sister station, New York 1, introduces us to the city's confetti engineers.
3, 2, 1, Happy New Year!
It is one of the most iconic moments of New Year's Eve in Times Square. Thousands of pounds of...
In Times Square, Alyssa Pawacelli, New York 1.
One lucky Ohioan is ringing in the new year as a millionaire, or almost. Plenty of attention went to the $1.8 billion Powerball ticket that was sold in Arkansas on Christmas Eve. But on that same night, an Ohioan had their own big win, a $1 million winning ticket sold at a Kroger location in Cincinnati. Now, taxes will keep that winner from becoming a full-fledged millionaire. They'll take home around $730,000, so it's still a nice pot. So congrats to them. The news continues on Spectrum News 1. Chances are you or someone you know is feeling a little under the weather this holiday season. In our next hour, we're looking at why respiratory illness seems to be impacting more Ohioans this year than in years past.